Travis DeCuire, Patterson, and Joe Pridgen joining us today. Coach, we'll start with you. Off the NCAA tournament on Thursday for the third time in your career. Just kind of opening thoughts on Wisconsin matchup and the season.
Excited to play. It's been a great year, one of my more fun years. Obviously, winning is going to be a little more fun than not, but this group really came together in a special way. As it was a long year early, it sped up towards the end. February, March went by pretty quickly, which meant the guys were having fun. Excited to go out and compete on a national stage on Thursday. Wisconsin's a tough opponent. The Big Ten's always big and physical, and that's a major adjustment for us going into the game. Hopefully our guys remember the experiences with the Tennessees and the Oregons earlier in November, which is why we schedule those games. So we're excited to compete, just trying to quickly prepare as much as possible.
Yeah, Coach, what was it like? I mean, you obviously you're at the party, you see Wisconsin come, but then you start putting in the work. So I guess just walk us through the process of from when you saw Wisconsin on the board till this point now.
Well, it's the build up to that point, right? And the wait. You don't know how long the wait's going to be. In the past, it's been a lot longer. I'm used to maybe being in the last pod. We had our name called a little earlier than usual this year, but it was fun to see the excitement in the guys, the excitement in the room, all our fans, our donors, our supporters, all were excited for us, enjoying the moment. And then it's immediately to business. So we enjoyed it, we basked in it for about 4 or 5 days, and now it's back to business. So within 5 minutes of figuring out who we're playing, I was ready to start preparing and watch film and see what we need to do to try to be competitive.
When you start diving into them, like what stands out?
They'll be themselves. Very well coached team. They know who they want taking shots, when, where, and how. They don't turn the ball over. Very good at getting to the free throw line. Shoot a high percentage. I think it's the second highest free throw percentage in D1 history. So they're going to be a challenge for us defensively. Offensively, you know, they're active. I really don't want to get into too much into what they do or what I think they do, but they make it hard to get good shots. They play percentage basketball, which seems like they're very hard to beat.
And for both guys, also we'll start with you. Just what has the experience been like from Wednesday night until now, and then I guess how would you describe kind of the mindset from now and then moving forward?
It's been a dream come true. I've dreamed of going to the NCAA tournament my entire life. So I feel like the last 4 or 5 days I've been on cloud 9, and it's been amazing. But like Trav said, we're getting back to business. We got a job to do. Got a lot of people rooting for us, so we're super excited and get ready to work.
Yeah, man, just to go off that, this is the dream. I mean, you play college basketball to get to the NCAA tournament and play against the best. So just to be a part of that, it's been great. And the last 4 or 5 days, it's just been basking in, like Coach said, and just been enjoying the moment with the guys and the people you got it done with. So it's back to business now.
For both the players, and Joe, we'll start with you. Just obviously switching gears, right? Mentally, you guys do it all year long. Next game, all those things. So for you, just what's it like? Kind of enjoying the celebrations, but then flipping the switch, realizing, like you mentioned, there's still business to attend to.
I think you hit it on the head. I mean, we've been doing it all year. It's kind of how we're built. Just being able to leave the past in the past. No matter what happened last game, just being able to go out there and execute. I think that's how we've been coached all year. It's kind of the mindset. We built for ourselves all through February and March. So it's not that big of a turn, but we're just excited.
Yeah, I think one of the big things we focused on was not getting complacent this year, and I think that was why we went on our 10-game win streak. And I don't think we're complacent now, and I don't think we should be at all. Like I said, we got to get back to work.
Both players again, just Austin. It had been 6 years since the Grizzlies got to this point. So to be a part of a team that snapped that drought, obviously they were really close last year too. There's been good teams, COVID, all those things. To snap that drought and get this program that expects to be there back there, just how special is that to be a part of that, right?
It's super special. This is a phenomenal program, great culture that the coaches have created and that the players have obviously kept going. So it's just a blessing to be a part of this program and to play for Travis DeCuire.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. I think the coaching staff, just the Grizzly culture, Zula. I think all these people deserve it. I think they deserve to be able to come watch winners, and just to have a team that's you know, kind of the face of what this city and what this program is about. You know, so yeah, it's been awesome.
Similar question for you, Travis. Just seeing these guys get it back, like you mentioned. You know, you thought last year's team deserved to be there. This year's team deserved to be there. Well, now you guys are here. So just for you, the special element of it, soaking it in, just speak to that and just getting back to this spot as well.
I was just thinking when you asked the guys, it's special to be here and be in a program in 6 years is called a drought. Right? I mean, we're often competing in recruiting with programs that haven't been in 20, 30 years or ever. So at this level, to be considered a drought in 6 years is a great situation to be in. But, you know, for me, the work we demand, the commitment, the dedication, the things that we ask these guys to not do with their time, this makes it worth it, right? It's hard to commit to something when you're not sure, when it's not guaranteed, especially year after year. A guy like Brandon Whitney in year 5 in the same program, to come back when he didn't necessarily have to and had opportunities to do some other things, knowing it still wasn't guaranteed, says a lot. And so for me to be able to sit back on March 12th and watch the guys celebrate was huge, because I think that this was a team that deferred probably to one another more than any team I've ever been a part of.
Travis, wanted to ask you about Austin. Just how would you describe the impact he's made on the team this year coming in, and just how important has he and his role been to the team getting to where it is now?
I would put Austin and Whit in the same category. You know, as two guys that in May and June made decisions based on growth, opportunity, and winning. And winning was a big part of it. But they saw a full picture. That picture changed July, August, as the roster changed. And both could have decided to do something else and did. Stayed committed, stayed locked in. And when their role changed game by game, opportunities changed by situations, they stayed locked in. They were the same guys in the locker room every day, cheering for their teammates every day, coachable every day. That's special leadership that's hard to come by in this day and time in college athletics. It's just too easy to walk away from anything difficult now. And to see young men like Austin stick it out and make the most of it and then be successful on the back end is huge. And that's why I say March 12th was a very huge day for me as a coach.
And Austin, how have you been able to stay locked in, and how have you embraced coming off the bench this year after having been a starter in previous years?
You know, it's been a bit of a change, but I just put my pride aside. I wanted to put the team first. You know, this program, the coaches, they've been encouraging me from the first day I got here, and my teammates as well. You know, everyone's had my back, and you know, of course, there's been ups and downs, but I wouldn't change the spot I'm in for the world. You know, this is a special place. The coaching staff is phenomenal, second to none, I believe, and my teammates as well, second to none, I believe. So it's just a blessing.
You know, when the process is easy to enjoy, right? It's easier to make the most of whatever your situation is, even if you wanted more for yourself, right? And these guys spend a lot of time together. You see them enjoying one another. They enjoy us. We joke a lot. We hang out a lot. When we travel, we try to have fun as much as possible, even though we work, we grind. And I think when you have a locker room like we have, it's a lot easier for someone to make the most of whatever the situation is, even if they wanted more for themselves.
And Joe, just for you, what has it been like getting to play with Austin this year, and just what do you feel are the biggest things he brings to the court or even in practice?
Austin's easily the most selfless teammate I've ever had. I mean, to see a guy shoot 40%, was a starter for every game last year, come to a program and just pour himself in the way he does. You know, he does, our pregame prayer. He's always talking to guys. He's always the one making people laugh. It's just his energy, his vibe that he brings to the team. It makes it easy to compete. Makes it easy to know I got teammates, who are gonna go out there and try just as hard as I'm trying. Yeah, he just made it easy this year, man. He was ready for any moment. In some games he scored 4 points, some games he scored 20. But whatever we needed him to do, he was there, defensively and offensively, and you can't ask for more from a player like that. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Joe, the first thing you think of when you think of the Big Ten is big. So what do you think of the challenge of going against some of the front court guys?
I mean, they're just a little taller and longer than me. I've been around college basketball for going on 7 years now, so I kind of seen it all. I feel pretty prepared for this game. I know how physical I got to be, to make an impact, and so that's what I'm going to try to do.
Will we see sleeveless Joe again?
Yeah, you will probably, yeah.
Yesterday, though, being there with your family and get a chance to experience that with your wife and your kid, what was that moment like for you?
Man, that moment was awesome. This was to come to Missoula. It was a family decision. We kind of knew there was going to be some opportunity for us after basketball was over. So to just be able to come here and just be successful, do what we said we wanted to do, accomplish, things the way we did. It was just awesome. Being able to share that moment with them. They're just as much a part of it as I am. So.
Trev, you played some Power Fives this year and a ton in your career. How's Wisconsin stack up with maybe some of the teams you've seen this year?
Right up there with the best of them. Michigan in 2018 was a Final Four team. We walked away from that game feeling like that we had a chance. Right? I won't say we should have won. I mean, they had a Final Four team, but we had all the momentum. We had a lead. They were burning timeouts and foul trouble, power outage. Things started happening that shifted the momentum when I don't think it was ready to be shifted. And so you kind of walk away from some experiences, desperate for another opportunity, and which is what our program is right now. I think this Wisconsin team is as good in terms of the ability to make it to a Final Four. Sometimes it takes a little luck to win some of these games. Ball's got to go in the basket, calls got to be made the right way. Guys got to miss some shots. So this is going to be a tough team, tough task. But I do think that we're built for this. We just got to play our best basketball.
I'm sure it's easy to turn on the film and think, wow, how are we going to match up with these guys? How do you sort of avoid that and just sort of treat it like another college basketball game?
It's another scout. And every scout, you show strengths, you highlight weaknesses, you find things that you might be able to expose, and then you go out and try to expose them. And then it's up to them to make the adjustments. And they're going to do the same thing with us, is they're going to try to find some weaknesses and try to expose them. Whoever does it the best wins. I know
you faced some big-time teams when you were a player. What sort of memories do you have from the NCAA tournament?
Runs. I remember runs. I remember the moment when we come to a timeout and everyone's excited because we knew we belonged. I remember the moments of, guys, next 4 minutes we could be winners walking away from this game if we handle these next 4 minutes properly. So I remember being in those situations and feeling like we can make it happen. Unfortunately, that Florida State team had 5 NBA players on it.
Both players, I'll start with you. I mean, I'm sure you've watched the tournament, you've watched all these mid-major teams go on runs before. Like, what would it mean to you if you could be that next team?
It would mean everything. Like I said, I've always dreamed of going to the NCAA tournament, and I've always dreamed of going on those big runs, being the little Cinderella team. But I think we legitimately have a chance to do that. I believe in this team a lot. Our coaching staff believes in this team a lot. So I'm just super excited for it.
And then Joe, maybe the point of like going on that run, everyone would see the Montana name, the Grizz logo. Like, what would it mean from if you're able to do something like that and putting Montana basketball on the map nationally like that?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome to put Montana on a bigger stage. I think all the love we would get, all the criticism we'd also get, I just think it'd be cool to be a part of that. But yeah, just like Austin said, I think it's very possible. So, I'm not gonna try to think too much about what if. I'm just gonna think about trying to go make it happen.
I think, Coach, obviously the tournament, it's so special with all the mid majors in it. I think us media people have all thought about what would it be like to cover a run. I think the fans have dreamt upon it from your perspective, like what would it mean? And I know you're so focused on, you know, the game ahead, but just maybe big picture, like have you thought about that? Has that crept in your head what that would mean?
Well, it changes lives, right? I mean, the honest, it changes lives, whether it's the players, whether it's the coaches, whether it's the program, whether it's the administrators that contribute to the program. Everyone wins when they're a part of success like that, when a mid or low major make a run. But that's not the reason. That's not what motivates us. For us, it's just an opportunity to go out and compete with one another. We look back at, you know, the Tennessee game at halftime, how we felt in the locker room at halftime. But then how we felt in the locker room after the game, and why. And can we solve those issues we had in the second half of that game? And if we can, then maybe we'll be celebrating in the locker room at the end of the game. But that's for us to figure out, and that's what motivates us, and that's what this is all about. And that's why on March 12th, our guys were so excited, was to have this opportunity. And so that's why we schedule those games in November. So, you know, for us, we're just looking forward to the opportunity to go out and play our best basketball.
Travis, another special person with the program the last few years has been Wyatt Grove, and he was there yesterday with you guys while the selection show was going on. Can you just speak to him being around and, you know, just having some inspiration around it, just a local kid like that? You know, he's been here now a couple of years, just what he's meant to the program and how the guys have, you know, all kind of received him as well.
You guys have been great with him. You know, he's part of the team, he's part of the family. We say family a lot. And so everyone in the program treats him like a family member. You know, for me, I've said this before, to have Wyatt around is a learning experience, right? Like having Joe around in the locker room, I think it's a learning experience for the guys to see what it's like to have someone that has to balance their life. Like your life is more than just basketball or just school. You have responsibility for someone else, right? And I think with Wyatt, you know, for guys to see that when things aren't, you know, perfect, when your health is in question, to see someone get up every day and fight the fight. When you don't know what the outcome is huge. And so for us, it's a learning opportunity in terms of how to fight through adversity. And maybe that's why this team has survived the adversity this team has seen this year, because we've seen more than any team I've ever been around. And so I think having Wyatt around has been healthy for us. And I would hope that if you were asked, he would say that he's getting the same thing in return, is he has something to look forward to daily, to cheer for daily, while he fights the fight. But he's been very important to this program.
For both the players, and Joe, we can start with you. Just, you know, meeting Wyatt, seeing him around, and, you know, celebrating with him yesterday. Just can you speak to meeting him, knowing him, what he's meant to this team?
Yeah, Wyatt's a cool dude, man. Heard about him last year, or this summer when I came in, and I finally got to meet him, you know, towards one of our first games. But like Coach was saying, to see somebody get up every day and fight the fight, and just have a good attitude about it, and be excited to come to Grizz games, be excited to be in the locker room with us. Yeah, it speaks volumes. Yeah, we've been through a lot of adversity this year, but, you know, me personally, that's someone I look at, and you know, I'm able to run a little harder, you know, block out a little harder, run the ball a little better, you know, just give a little more effort. Whenever I see Wyatt, you know, he texts us all the time. He's always making us laugh. You know, I've always tried to give him some advice whenever he texts me asking. Yeah, it's just a good vibe to have around the locker room.
Yeah, Wyatt's a pretty funny guy. We got a group text with him, and he says some funny stuff. But he's very inspiring. You know, like Trav said, he's fighting the good fight. You know, I've been praying for him. You know, wishing the best for him. It's crazy to see. Like, we all go out here, play basketball every single day. We don't realize how special that is. I'm sure Wyatt would love to do that. So it's like I said, it's truly inspiring to see someone who's fighting every day, wakes up every single day, just fights their heart out, literally. So it's super inspiring.
Last one for me, Coach. March Madness is kind of fun because it's not just the players on the court, but sometimes it's the guys on the bench who get a lot of camera time and sometimes go viral. So you guys' bench has been pretty entertaining this year. Obviously, Adam and Connor and Chase and these guys have all been a big part of that. But you need that too, right? As you've talked about earlier this year, to encourage their teammates. So I guess speak to, you know, their impact and, you know, just maybe guys, they might not play, but they are, you know, rooting their teammates on, having a big impact too.
You know, my dream for them is that they make one shining moment. You know, my redshirt year, we played UNLV. And it was an emotional roller coaster. We got off to a really good start, thought we had a chance. And they had t-shirts that were seatbelts on them that said buckle up. And at some point in time, Larry Johnson looked at us and told us to buckle up. They were a little too much for us. But our bench made one shining moment because of the way we celebrated, the emotion, the energy. That's part of the reason we're sitting here right now in front of you is our bench. Those guys, they lace them up every day, they tape every day and help us prepare every day. And then some of them have gone into some games and helped us win. And so this experience is just as important for them to enjoy as it is the guys that you see playing. So like I say, I wish would be that they make one shining moment.
Travis, you guys had been the Big Sky favorite at the start of the year, expected to be competing for titles. Just how prepared do you think this team is to go from being the favorite to being the underdog now?
We were an underdog less than a week ago. I think we go to Northern Colorado and return the favor, and everyone still thought they'd beat us the next time we played. So we're used to that. It's normal. That's why we schedule the games we schedule in November. Is that we go out, we play games we're not supposed to win on the road, and try to make the most of opportunities. So I don't think that our guys will be overwhelmed by that. The light's going to be a little brighter though, and that's what we've got to be prepared for. Is sometimes you got to burn the timeout and make sure guys come down to earth a little bit. But I don't think we're concerned about the underdog portion as much as just maybe being too jacked.
And maybe for Joe and go to Austin, just what's the mentality you have to go into these games now where you are the underdog, but you have been in some of those games this year?
I think for us the mentality is just be ourselves. Don't try to do anything too out of your body or make sure you show up. But I think we just got to be ourselves. I mean, I think we got a great coaching staff that's gonna come up with a great game plan for us. And as players, I think all year, especially this last month or two, we've really been figuring out how to play with each other, finding each other's strengths. So yeah, I think if we just be ourselves and bring a little extra physicality, offensively and defensively, I think we'll be all right.
I think one of the hardest things to do when you're in the NCAA tournament is stick to your routine. There's so much demand with media and timelines that it's really difficult to stick to routine. And so our job as coaches and leaders are to make sure that guys try to keep it as normal as possible on game day, not before game, so that their body, their mind, their heart is in the same place it was March 12th.
Yeah, what I would say in terms of mentality is we're just going to go in there with ultimate confidence and just let it rip. We're here for a reason, so I think we just go out and just play our game, do what we've been doing the entire season. I don't see why we wouldn't contend with them and even win. So just ultimate confidence.
All right, last question. We had an online question come in from John Title at Hoops HD. Coach, he wants to know how exciting it was to hear your name called on Selection Sunday, and was it even more exciting to learn you won't be facing Michigan in the first round for the fifth time?
Yes, it was more exciting to know that we weren't playing Michigan. I was a little concerned about that. It always feels good to have your name called. We knew it was going to happen, but it's still exciting to see it, to hear it. And like I say, for me, it was more exciting to just see the reaction of the team. And so, you're not promised this every year. You don't know when the next opportunity is going to be. And so for us, when it happens, bask in it, and then you got to flip the switch when it's time to get ready.
Great. Thank you, everybody.